tuning in, broadcasting live from the HR Media Control Room here at UstreamRadio.com. Yours truly, Dominic K, in here for another edition of the Wrestling Remix brought to you by DMV Wrestling. And as always, every Tuesday night you can join us here to talk about the week in pro wrestling. And another week has come around in the world of pro wrestling. As I said, of course, last night the 3-hour edition of Raw brought to you by WWE, and we're going to talk a little bit about WWE Raw and the upcoming event for the Night of Champions, which is going to emanate from Boston. It just seems like these pay-per-views are coming around, and they're coming around quickly. I also want to talk a little bit about Impact Wrestling as it goes. The 3-hour Raws, I like to say, are good and bad. Good from the standpoint that we get to see matchups. People get mic time, air time, ring time that would not normally get them. And sometimes this can be good, and sometimes this can be bad. It all depends. I mean, it really all depends on your personal taste. I mean, it's been a mixed bag. It's definitely been a mixed bag, and if you want to join us, of course, if you want to drop me a line, if you have a question, info@dmvwrestling.com, and as always, joined by the Jammer, who will be joining us momentarily as soon as I can get this what we call the switchboard going here. It's doing something real crazy right now, so we're going to bear with that momentarily, and as soon as let me refresh this here. Jammer,
hello.
Can you hear me?
Hello.
All right.
Diamond K.
Absolutely.
Hello.
All right.
How are you, sir?
Very good, very good.
Glad to be back on the talk, DMV, Raw Remix Talk.
Absolutely. Wait a
minute. I've been out in the deep dark jungles trying to find me a champion. I found this guy named Kamala. He doesn't speak any English and eats a lot of bananas. And I guarantee you, he will be the next champion. He will bring you the championship that's been slipping out of my hands for years. But no, Diamond, it's good to be back on, man. And I know you're probably talking about what's going on in the universe.
I didn't get a chance to really get into it yet. We haven't spoken since the 3-hour Raws began.
Right.
What are your thoughts on these 3-hour Raws?
Well, I'm in the midst of a pennant race. After 14 years of watching the Orioles, who won tonight, so that 8 o'clock hour is pretty much, thrown away right now.
Right.
But I do, flip back and forward. It is what it is. It's Raw. It's kind of like the warm-up show for the 9 o'clock deal.
Right.
So, but it's working, I guess. How's it doing in the ratings for the WWE?
They're averaging out around about 3.2 on average. So, I mean, I would say that the ratings are decent. I think they're holding up well. That 8 o'clock hour is not bringing down the total thing as a lot of people probably thought that it would. I think it's a good thing. I mean, you have the potential for fans to cycle in and out. And let's say the kids who have school the next morning, say they're coming in the 8 o'clock hour and leaving at the 9 o'clock. And then you have the people our age who are coming in around 9 o'clock and staying for the duration. So that's what I'm thinking.
Well, yeah, the people my age, the 23 and 24-year-olds of the world, we I'm just teasing. But I kind of weave in and out of the 8 o'clock hour. And normally they're pushing the main event. Or sometimes the main event hasn't even been announced until the 9 o'clock hour.
Right.
Yeah, so, it's the ham and egg hour. So I guess they get some folks over, some guys that would normally probably wrestle in the dark matches, gets a little light and camera action.
Right, and I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing.
Not at all.
You got some type of a tag team division developing.
I see that happening, which is good.
Yeah, and you get
now. Can you give
ladies.
me some information? Not to cut you off, Diamond,
Sure.
but speaking of tag team and the WWE, now they have the 2 African American dudes. I can't think of their name, but they were being managed by another loudmouth guy, another African American dude.
Right.
I think he at one point had a talk show or something.
Right.
But
right.
Now, from
Abraham
what I hear,
Washington.
What's his name?
Abraham Washington or AW.
Something like that. And
right.
he was managing these 2 guys. And the guys were pretty good. But now he's gone. What did he do?
Well, and I was going to talk to you about that. What happened with AW, I liked AW, for the record. He was acting in a manager's capacity for the team of Titus O'Neil and Darren Young.
There you go.
Yeah, a.k.a. the Primetime Players. Now, he was doing a spin on, I want to say, Jimmy Hart's character. At ringside, they gave him a headset that had, he was over the speakers. And so at ringside, he was yelling things, to the crowd and to the opponents, similar to what Jimmy Hart did with the megaphone.
Okay.
And, he did it that way. And he did this for several weeks. He's building up this team. Initially, he was managing Primo, and he switched teams and got with the Primetime Players. And so as they're, rising in their quest for the tag team titles, during one match, he said that Titus O'Neil was unstoppable, like Kobe Bryant in a hotel room. And so that did not go over well, I guess, with the WWE brass. After the match was over, they went to a commercial. They came back from the commercial, and Michael Cole apologized for the comment of AW. That week, he appeared on SmackDown the following, the taping on Tuesday, and the following that Friday. There was some talk on the internet about the comments. He offended some people with the comments. Others were not offended. Of course, referencing Kobe Bryant's
alleged rape charge. Okay.
And the following week, he returned on Monday, and he said in the mic, a lot of people don't like it, but I'm back again, something to that effect. And they had their match and whatever. But by that Friday, he was released. And a lot of people have speculated about it. I was not offended by the comment.
No, come on.
Yeah, I wasn't offended by it.
It's pro wrestling. He's a heel. I don't know where he was going with that because, I don't know how many people actually can, because that Kobe Bryant incident happened some years ago.
Yeah, I think it went over a lot of people's heads.
Sure. And but the powers that
be. He's not the only one. Big Show referenced it in a feud in a promo once, where he said that I'm Kobe Bryant and you're a little white girl. This was during the time that it happened. and nothing came of that. Some people say that it's because Linda's in the midst of a campaign, and this could potentially be negative.
What is she running for now?
She's running for Senate. She's got the Republican. She's the Republican candidate, and that was just a week before she she was the front runner, but that was a week before she got that spot. So in November they'll find out whether she actually becomes a senator.
Well,
yeah. But to top it off, he went on a very, very profanity-laced rant against WWE and being released after that. Unlike Daniel Bryan and others, he did not go down quietly, and I think he's probably burned that bridge.
No, when you say Daniel Bryan, what happened?
Well, when they had the Nexus angle, I don't know if you remember, but when the Nexus angle first kicked off, Daniel Bryan was a part of Nexus.
Right.
And he choked, I believe it was the ring announcer with a tie. And some of the powers that be at USA were offended by this, or this offended someone, and Daniel Bryan was fired after that, and he was gone for several months, probably about 6 months that he was gone, and then he came back and had a career and flourished. But he did what he was told to do, and then that just didn't go over well on TV, and he was fired. But he wasn't. I mean, he wasn't trying to offend anyone. It's just one of those things. Got caught up in the moment, and it just looked really real, and I think it got too real for some people.
Oh wow, that's kind of bad when wrestling gets too real for some people.
Yeah. Yeah.
No pun, not to take a shot at Linda or Vince or Stephanie or Shane, but they're in the wrestling business. And as far as I can recall, now unless they're reinventing the wheel, and I guess they are, the wrestling business has never been nothing nice.
Well, that's true.
Heels have been offending people. Oh my God. I mean, I've heard so much worse.
Oh yeah.
I guess I just made a reference to that I've been away to look in the deep dark part of Africa looking for a champion. Boy, what they used to say, and I guess maybe what they used to say before there was a standard and practice type thing with USA, and before wrestling became corporate, and man, if I repeated some of the things, well, Ole Anderson was an out and out racist.
Yes, no doubt about it.
He told Teddy Long, if you recall those matches on TBS, on that where they would have the 2 hours of World Championship Wrestling Saturdays at 6 o'clock on TBS with David and Tony Schiavone and David Crockett, and Teddy Long started out under those. Well, he started out under Dusty Rhodes, basically cleaning up. When the wrestlers would leave, they would throw him a few bucks, and I do mean a few bucks, just to kind of wipe up the sweat and clean up the the area because the place wasn't made for wrestling. It's a television station, so he would clean that area up and get it presentable so they could go on. And Dusty took a liking to him. He was the booker, and at the time of the NWA days, the Crockett days. And if you recall, Teddy Long was in the ring as a referee. Well, he, I think Ole Anderson had a guy down in a chokehold, and Teddy, the referee tried to get in and pry him apart, and actually was trying to pry Ole apart, and whatever. Ole went on he went on and won the match, but Teddy Long has said that, Ole Anderson made no bones about it. He made no bones about, nigga, don't ever put your hands on me again. Yeah. It's what Ole Anderson told Teddy. Nigger, don't you ever put your hands on me again. So, but that was a behind-the-scene thing. But I can still remember some of the things that when Nikolai Volkov would sing the Russian national anthem, and Freddie Blassie would say, Iran, U.S. Russia #1. These guys did whatever they had to do to get over as heels. Now, for him to make a reference that went over everybody's head, this guy, and get blown out, wow. I mean, I guess TNA can use them, I guess, but that's a bunch of BS. I mean, I didn't think the guy was that great, but if you're going to blow somebody out in the world of professional wrestling,
right?
Please make it legit.
Yeah,
it's clear. Somebody in the suits didn't care for this guy. And the first chance they got, they ran him out of the WWE.
Yeah. That's what it seemed like. They didn't even.
Right. He was a loudmouth. You know what I mean? But I just thought that was interesting. That he's no longer there because I think he's pretty good.
Definitely no longer there. And
I still say that Vicky Guerrero, that excuse me, please. That's got to be the biggest heel get over. One of the biggest heel sayings. That's got to be up here with Fred Blassie's pencil net D.
Yeah,
and all she says is "excuse me, please." And if she really does it up, and she knows when to do it over, I said, and boy, when you get that going, that reminds me of the good old days of wrestling. Just that one thing that can kind of, really get you a lot of heat. But boy, if they're going to let people go in wrestling about some of the things that they said or some of the, politically incorrect things that you're going to hear at a wrestling match, well, you can stand in line. No matter how Vince, how Vince try to shine it up for Linda and make it a legit business, I'm sorry, wrestling will always have a stigma of a Jerry Springer type thing. A lot of people laugh at the Jerry Springer show, but it's still top rated. It's still on. It still has viewers, and they're getting ready for a new season. But it's still considered gutter television. So that just comes with the business. Wrestling has always been a gutter business.
And it always will be.
Yeah, you can change the mat covers through the commercials and make it as corporate as you want, and it's wrestling. It's pro wrestling, as a matter of fact. So that comes with the territory. So they better be careful there. Unfortunately, TNA just continue to drop the ball. They're trying. They have a following.
They're giving
it their all. They're spending a lot of money. I guess they're getting it back but they're real popular overseas. Overseas TNA.
That is true. 347-326-9396. If you want to talk to us, and I definitely want to talk about Raw and a little about TNA. And let's go to the lines real quick and take a call. Hello, who is this?
Yellow, what's going on? It's DJ Unique.
Oh, wow.
DJ, my God, Unique.
What's going on?
It's every now and again, outside of Ric Flair calling this show, we can't get a bigger legend than Unique.
Unique than me, damn.
Turn your computer down,
I was
sir.
getting ready to say, turn down your listening device. You being in the DJ business for a long time, no, that's feedback, man. That's what you call a no-no. But it's good to talk to you, Unique, and I hope everything's well with you. What's going on?
Man,
Do you have a question?
I'm blessed. Just been working hard, but I just want to say I thought Raw was a pretty good show Monday night, and like y'all said, TNA trying. I respect what they doing. They really trying with this new HHH thing. I like it. I like where it's going. I'm glad they did the pregnant thing. That was getting on my nerves. I'm glad that's over. But the HHH thing that they doing, I'm really feeling that.
Tell us a little bit about the HHH thing.
Well, to me, it's funny because it's like they imitating the Sons of Anarchy, the way they doing it with the jackets and the patches. But to me, it's like a spinoff of NWO, but it's like it's the NWO of today. To me, that's what it seemed like.
Okay, it's a fraction. It's a group.
Yeah. I do think one of the dudes is the disciple, though. I do think one of them is the disciple, though.
The disciple being Brutus Beefcake?
No, the disciple, the one that used to NWO disciple.
That was Brutus Beefcake.
That was Brutus,
yeah, that was.
And I do think the fat dude is a Biff.
Where is Brutus Beefcake? Whatever happened to Brute Eye?
Have not seen old Brute Eye. Have not seen him. Real quick to touch on TNA. I mean, I think it's been up and down. I think you have Hogan there. It's no telling. I'm going to say that either Hogan or James Storm are involved in it. Definitely, it's possible Eric Bischoff would be involved in it. They need to end it, and they need to give a resolution to it pretty quickly. It's just been dragging on too long.
But look how long they ran the Nexus, though, almost a year before they broke up.
Yeah, but with the Nexus, I think it was a little different because you knew clearly in the beginning who's involved in this group. With this, these guys are wearing masks. We don't know who's what. It's just been going on for a while.
Speaking of Nexus, what happened to the leader? Is he hurt or is he on hiatus?
Well, he's just coming back. They're trying to work him back in. And they're still doing the bare knuckles fighting type of gimmick, if you will. I think he has a lot of potential. He's a big guy, tall, lot of potential there. I think he should be a heel, and that seems to be the direction that they have him in. Unique. Before we let you go. What are your thoughts on CM Punk? Because we're getting ready to talk about CM Punk and his heel turn. Are you liking this with the direction of CM Punk?
It's pretty cool. I always was a CM Punk fan from day one, so it's pretty cool. But I just don't like that last ending match. I thought it was kind of.
I can still somehow hear some type of feedback in the back.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. We'll put him on hold. The CM Punk is one of those good, bad, walking that line type of character.
I talk to a lot of wrestling fans that used to be. You bring up a very. I'm so tired of this word now. They've introduced in the sport or sports entertainment as a tweener.
Yeah.
Well, if I think I've touched on this with you before, Diamond K.
Mm-hmm.
If they have too many tweeners in wrestling, well, they're reinventing the wheel, and I don't know how long it's going to last. As you know, wrestling has always been, and it will always be. The root of it is good versus evil. Now then, as Dusty Rhodes would say, I realize that the wrestling fan have changed. I realized that when you had the Four Horsemen that some people looked at them as a fan favorite. So the wrestling fan have changed over the years. But it's always going to be, I think, the better shows, the better companies, and Vince knows this, good versus bad, good overtaking bad, do all the bad stuff on television, and then but I guess it's different now because they don't even do wrestling as they used to, because basically television was the opportunity for the heel to really get over, put asses in the seats, sell tickets, just to see that heel get paid back in Landover at the Capitol Center or the Spectrum or the Garden, either Garden, Boston's or New York, But, Austin was a tweener. So, it's hard to gauge. It's just hard to gauge.
And I think his character really brought that about.
Now, he's more of a face again.
The NWO were tweeners.
He was headed down tweener road. But they refused to give into it because he's so valuable as a heel. And he is the Hulk Hogan, Steve Austin of the 2010 and beyond. So you really don't want to turn him into an outright heel. But it's good that he's going up against CM Punk, who people really like. But even it's a slow heel turn. He's still being careful. He's still, but I think as this goes on, he'll probably wind up being a heel outright.
Absolutely.
I hope so, more than
that's why they've been pairing him with Jerry the King Lawler, and he's been cutting these deep promos on the King, and I think that the promo that he cut on the King last night dug pretty deep. With just with the tone of it and saying that King never beat anybody in Memphis, and Memphis was a trash area, and he had a slap boxing match with a comedian, and that was his claim to fame, and he couldn't win the WWE title, and all these type of things. I think that they put him in a program, a quick program with the King, because the King is one of the true faces that they have in the company, just like JR. And if you do something to one of these announcers, and I think that the fans will really look at you as a heel, and I think that's why they put him in this role.
And I see that he actually bled last night legitimately.
Yes, that is not something that we see pretty often, and that looked like a hard way shot there from the King. Maybe he didn't take too kindly to some of the things that CM Punk said about him. Triple H,
Jerry Lawler has been known to stiff you in the ring.
Yes.
He'll deal with it in the back.
Yeah, he has. One thing I can say about the King, he has not lost his touch. He is one of the all-time greats. He knows how to cut a babyface and heel promo very well, at his age. Oh,
yeah. And he still moves in the ring. He doesn't embarrass himself.
Yeah, he definitely not.
But he's in shape because Jerry Lawler owns Memphis is still a hotbed for wrestling. I think it's called Memphis Championship Wrestling.
Yes.
And it's owned by Jerry Lawler, and he's been known to wrestle a little bit down there on his off times from the WWE. As a matter of fact, I guess the WWE salary is kind of keeping that organization afloat down there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely.
It's a hotbed that Jerry Lawler wrestling down there.
That's just one of those areas. Every Tuesday night, 11 p.m. right here, ustreamradio.com. You can check us out for the DMV Wrestling Remix. And for our people that are listening live, we will go off the air in about a minute, but we're going to do some overtime, and you'll be able to hear us in the archives. As always, info@dmvwrestling.com to send us questions, and 347-326-9396 is the number, but our conversation is going to continue. Triple H having not so good a time with Brock Lesnar and appearing to at least tease retirement. Is this the end of Triple H, or are they setting up another match, in your opinion?
Well, you always got to have that. If they wanted to, they can always get a nice draw, make a bunch of money off of Triple H. If you lose this match, you have to retire. You'll never wrestle again. They haven't done that yet. So I think this is probably headed toward that way. It might even wind up being something at WrestleMania, Triple H and Lesnar, and a winner and a loser loses his career match. So I don't think it's over, but it's leaning that way, and I think we probably see the outcome of that. Maybe WrestleMania, whatever it is, 29, at the Giant Stadium in Jersey. So I think that's going to go on for a while. I think we're just in the beginning of that. I mean, it could happen at Survivor Series,
Let me give you my philosophy, and let me say this first. God willing, I plan to be in Giant Stadium to check out WrestleMania next year. Now, it's pretty early to be setting that. Here's my thoughts, and tell me if I'm crazy. Okay,
I'm having a little feedback on my end, but I can hear you. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Tell me if I'm crazy, but I think we have Brock Lesnar and Triple H before WrestleMania. Now, here's where it gets crazy. Shawn Michaels and Triple H at WrestleMania. Shawn Michaels retires Triple H.
A retirement match. Well, that'll be interesting because isn't Shawn already retired?
Yes, he's already retired.
So you
but
think
he comes out of retirement and ends up retiring Triple H. I don't know what they could have him put up,
right.
I'm thinking that both of their arms are broken right now by Brock Lesnar. And Shawn has said that you can't win. I didn't think you could beat him. That type of gibberish. He doubted him with the Undertaker. He's doubting him here. This could be potentially be a big match. Do we want to see that though? Do we want to see Shawn Michaels and Triple H again?
No, I know.
Yeah,
I
agree. Their matches are just like long and boring.
And you know the spots before they do. You know, you can only take that around the WWE universe 4 or 5 times like they've done. I don't know. Maybe Shawn gets in and he's some type of I don't know.
Yeah.
Some type of advisor.
Hopefully they don't go that way.
Now, how long is Lesnar still going to be? Is Lesnar is he contracted for what?
He had a 1 year contract, but he had limited dates and appearances, and so that's why they've been using him in this way. I've also heard rumblings of a Lesnar Undertaker match, which Lesnar threatens to destroy the streak and the very essence of the WWE. I like this match. The question is that if Undertaker is even in a physical condition to do this match, even one a year.
Right, because Lesnar he's a punisher out there. That'll be interesting to see. That'll be really. And how long will it be before Ric Flair winds up on WWE television?
I think it's just a matter of time. I definitely would like to see Flair in some type of a managing or commentating capacity. He would really be.
Well, he's back. He's been spotted backstage, and I believe he's in the show opening briefly. Yes,
he is. He is, and that definitely means something. Your thoughts on AJ Lee, the current general manager of Raw?
I don't get her. I never got it. I tuned out for a while because of her, and I don't get it. I just don't get it.
She's a cute girl.
Yeah, of course.
She's a cute girl. Yeah.
Sure.
But that's it.
That's about it. I mean, I just don't. She's not believable. I don't know. I don't get her. I mean, what is her background in wrestling? or is she a good friend? It seems to me, and I'm probably wrong about this, it seems like she's a good friend of Stephanie McMahon's, and Stephanie's like, in AAA, she probably comes over the house and play with the kids, and wanted in her business, and here she is, the most important thing in wrestling this year, and it's I don't know, hit the snooze button. It's just it does nothing for me. What is she, dizzy? That she skips out to the? It's just I don't know what is her thing. Is she bipolar? What is AJ?
They haven't quite determined that. I think that
she's
part of her character is
she a high school student?
I think some of it is to grab that segment of the population, the young people. I think the younger ones think that they can appeal to her, even though she's probably in her late 20s. But I don't know.
Interesting. She's holding it down. People seem to like her. I guess she's a tween or two.
Yeah, she must be.
I don't know who she's for and who she's against.
Time will tell, but I don't think she's going to be the general manager for the rest of the year. I think that's going to go to some kind of way. I think it may actually end up with Vicky, and it seems like they're going in that direction. To me, one of the breakout stars of the year. We spoke about him earlier, Daniel Bryan. Not the biggest guy in the mode of Vince McMahon and his bodybuilder fetish. I really like Daniel Bryan. What are your thoughts on Daniel Bryan and the push that he's receiving?
Well, he's getting over by saying a couple of words. Yes, 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 and no, no, no. He's a good wrestler. He's good on the mic. But again, I don't know where he stands. Is he a heel and slowly but surely turning into a face? I know they're doing an angry management bit with him. Let's see how that works out. But on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd say Daniel Bryan is a 7.5, closer to an 8 wrestling. And on the mic about the same thing, and But my whole thing in wrestling is believability.
Yeah,
you have to believe in the character, even though we and I guess that makes us more. I'm trying to get an example who's in their character and you believe their character. Steve Austin was the best.
Definitely, very believable. Very believable.
You
really could believe
You
him.
really thought Steve Austin just picked out a bar in Texas every Tuesday night and went in there and said, son, what you say? And gave everybody a stunner and threw bottles. You just actually thought that's what he did when he went home, and it's quite different than, he's quiet as a mice outside of the ring.
But he's one of the all-time biggest, that's the all-time most successful character.
Oh, my God.
Probably next to
what he and Vince McMahon had was, that goes down. I'm very tough on great things and greatness. That was excellent. As a matter of fact, I watched an episode of Raw the week after Stone Cold Steve Austin went in the hospital and beat Vince McMahon with a bedpan.
Classic. Just like you did with the Daniel Bryan character, on a scale of 1 to 10, what was Austin?
As so far, he was a 10.
He was a 10.
He was a 10.
Yeah.
He was the king of the Attitude Era. Yeah, he got over. He was believable.
Eric Bischoff was quoted as saying that when Steve Austin was in WCW, no one had any idea that he had the potential to be the breakout star that he did. I personally think he said that as a way to try to cover his tracks, if you will. What are your thoughts on that? Did you see the potential in Austin when he was stunning Steve Austin?
Not to what he became. No. I knew he was going to be good because he really didn't do a lot of mic work back then. I had no idea that he turned into the megastar that he did, that he was, Stone Cold. When that glass broke, man, all hell broke loose. And so, yeah, I just had no idea that he would go that far, Stone Cold. But he was one of the best to sell his character. And that's,
absolutely.
These guys are characters, man. And they have to be believable. And that's without a doubt. The good ones are.
Right.
I'm trying to think of somebody modern day who's
what about Randy Orton?
Boy, if they don't turn that guy into a heel, it's killing him. Cause, he needs a heel turn. He's so uncomfortable with being a face. It's ridiculous. But he's good. His character is good. He's very much believable. He's very much believable.
Flair.
Was
Flair
believable.
Flair believable?
The Nature Boy?
Yes.
I don't think there's a more believable guy in my lifetime. Yeah,
I agree. Flair is very believable.
Very believable. When Flair said that he, flew in limousine, Learjets, rode in limousines, he actually did it, but that helped. But he was believable. That was still his character. So, yeah, Dusty Rhodes was believable, as the son of a plumber. Just trying to live the American dream. He was very believable. Hulk Hogan, not believable for a second. He was great as so far as being a character that related to he was more of a superhero than a pro wrestler. He was a movie star. Well, he was in wrestling way before he did the Rockies, but he was a better wrestler in his early days, and I guess he said, the hell with that. I'm going to get out here and be a better character than a wrestler, and that's what he was. He was probably the best character in the business. Say your prayers, eat your vitamins, and blah, blah, blah. But I was at the age where I'm like, oh, this is not believable. And even if I'd have been younger, I would like, I can turn to, Popeye the Sailor Man and see Popeye get beat up and then drink the spinach and beat up Pluto, and there's Hulk Hogan. So I didn't think he was very believable, but what he was selling,
whatever he was selling, he sold a lot. He sold a lot of it.
And he's still selling it. And he's going to run a set of commercials with a Hall of Fame quarterback. So, Troy Aikman. It worked. He hit at the right time. But if he, I didn't find that part of wrestling. I was looking at a couple of matches today. They had Barry Windham. Barry Windham was the Widowmaker. Terry Taylor was the Red Rooster, and Dusty Rhodes had on the polka dots. These guys sold themselves out to Vince for the money and the opportunity, and they saw the fact that he was about to take over the whole entire country as far as pro wrestling. So if Vince told you to get out there and, put on a bunch of polka dots and dance and, walk around like you're a rooster and we'll weave in some red hair, it was just horrible. But it worked.
Right, and they did it.
It kept them afloat until the Attitude Era. So they kind of knew when to get it together.
I'm sitting here looking at 3 emails about a show on tag teams that we have to get in the can eventually. So we're gonna have